If you own a home in Billings, your home is probably taking a hit. Billings has a lot of weather like hail, heavy winds, lots of snow. Most homeowners don't think about their roof until it's too late. Today's guest thinks about it every single day. Casey Stone is the owner of Diamond Roofing and Solar, a locally owned company right here in Billings that's been protecting homes since 2014. And they handle insurance claims from the very start all the way to the end. This is the episode to watch before you sign anything with a roofer. Casey, thanks for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So Casey, let's get right into it. I'm curious, 2014 is when you started Diamond Roofing and Solar, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, tell me about the journey that you've had since the start of that.
Man, it's been a journey. You know, I started where I worked for a big contractor back then. I actually hired him in the car business, and he just said one day, I'm going to go make all this money. So, you know, we all kind of laughed about it.
Uh-huh.
And then one day he left, and then he had like probably 6-7 trucks running around. And now you see him on commercials, and he was just blowing up as an individual in a business.
Yeah.
And then I got burnt out because I have a big sales background my whole career. And I got burnt out, so I went, and he took me out to lunch. I started working for him. And then it's actually funny, it didn't last long, about a month. He honestly never paid me on any of my jobs. He kept me kind of like, where he didn't want me to learn everything, so I almost had to I ended up teaching myself. But moral to that story real quick is I took his name off, the one part, and then I put my last name and started as Stone Contracting. So I didn't have to take much off the truck because my phone number was already on there. But I took his name off, and then I ended up, like I said, never got paid, so took his name off. It was funny, I had a rental, and I had a whole bunch of crews there. In my disposal, and I didn't know, and I went to look at a Harley one day, Harley Davidson, and the guy, I had the name on my truck, and he goes, well, that's about what I need a roof. And I said, I'm here to look at the Harley. And he goes, that check, I'll keep that. You put the roof on, and you take the bike. And I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So I called my workers over there because I had workers. And I'm like, hey, can you do this? You said you could do rust for me. And they said, yeah. And they told me. And so then I hired them, bought the material, did the math. And I'm like, this is profitable, And then the neighbor, we did such a good job. The neighbor called me. So we kind of started our career off by, it's a funny story. But we did the neighbor called. And then word of mouth, we ended up doing, a lot, pretty decent for my first 6 months. And then from there, we just kind of blew up. And then I was pretty big where I had 6 to 10 trucks running around, probably 10, 12 rental properties.
Yeah.
I was doing pretty good, but then COVID hit, the divorce hits, and then this is kind of a redemption time.
There you go.
But we've all been waiting for it to hail. Hasn't really hit the whole town since then. So we're all just waiting for that big sailboat, the fishing boat to come in and just make a lot of money. But so we've been just hanging on. It's been a journey.
So Casey, it sounds like it was starting off in a sales experience background, moving on to Stone Contracting after you learned everything you could, or at least everything he was taught you about roofing. And then from Stone Contracting, you changed the name to Diamond Roofing and Solar?
Yeah, last year I partnered with a guy. And then we're still really good friends. But he ended up going back to the car business, and then I ended up buying that part back. So we went that direction thinking solar was going to be big. And then Trump got elected, which I am a real big Trump fan. But the problem is he took a lot of the incentives away. So it made it tough for the solar business. So we've been kind of directing. We still have that on the name, and I'm kind of like, why not have it to be a part? Because when we joined in the solar business, when you look up a solar business, there was only 2 or 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So to be on that, chart was a big deal. And so we're in the solar business, and we basically changed to be in that. But there's not a lot of incentives, so we focus a lot on the roofing and siding. The solar, if it's there, we'll do it. So
Yeah, I remember when solar became a huge boom, we'd start having people knock on the door like, hey,
yeah,
yeah, get your solar in. There's incentives. There's all this cool stuff. It essentially pays for itself. And then now it's not really happening anymore.
yeah, you're not really hearing a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And solar's a tough business. Like there's numerous companies, I'm not gonna mention names in town, but they went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they started. It's a make or break business. It really is for solar. But I think what's really kept us alive is the roofing, the siding, the gutters, and being a general contractor where I've built my own houses. I've been there. I know how to do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I won't do electrical or plumbing, but a contractor that knows everything from the start to finish and that has done it multiple times. So I understand the process.
Yeah, you've got a really solid background from all the contracting jobs that you've done in the past, but it just made sense to stick to the roofing and solar. So you, Diamond Roofing and Solar, obviously roofing and solar is in the name, but you also do gutters and siding as well?
Yeah, we actually do really good. Well, we do good everything, but yeah, our siding is top notch. We don't get no complaints. People are really happy. We've done some big projects, and yeah, we're one of the best, I like to say.
So Casey, let's talk about insurance claims. Earlier you mentioned that you do it from like start to finish. It was a huge part of Diamond Roofing and Solar.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that whole process kind of looks like?
Yeah, like a lot of homeowners, they see their roof, but they really don't know what's going on up above it. So, you know, my kid came to sell for me, and he goes, "There's no damage up there, Dad." And I'm like, "Really? How do you know?" I can't see any. So you can't see any from the car, so you're thinking there's no damage. No, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, homeowners don't know if you're missing one shingle and it blew off, you might be entitled to a whole new roof.
Oh.
Montana's a matching state, and I come in as an advocate for the homeowners, residential, commercial. So my job is to really know the state laws too, to protect you. So getting into that, if you're missing one shingle and they don't make that shingle anymore, yeah, they have to pay for your whole roof. Not
Wow.
likewise, not something that looks close. It has to be an exact match because we're an exact matching state. So
Wow, that's actually really cool.
yeah, so knowing the insurance, you know,
Mhm.
it's good to have a contractor that knows it. I actually, if somebody signs up with us and they have the insurance adjuster coming out, it's really actually better to have us show up to represent you as your advocate, because when these insurance guys are showing up, let's face it, they're not always honest. I mean, people aren't honest. And I hate to say that because there is some good ones that show up and they're honest. And you're like, thank you. Thank you for doing your job so I didn't have to. So as an advocate, I show up and we'll go over all the damage with the adjuster so that we see it all and that it's taken care of right then and there. If you don't do that, it could delay this process for months, because now we have to get back on the phone, get that contractor back out there, and physically get him to open his eyes and see that, and then write that down in his book so that they're going to now take care of it. If they don't physically do that and a contractor's not there, they're just going to not see a lot of things, and they're just going to barely write on their notebook and barely take care of you. Do you
Yeah.
want that?
No.
Yeah,
No homeowner does.
So getting into that, yeah, we handle all the insurance from start to finish. And it's my opinion that you should have a contractor there that you feel that you're going to hire, you're going to trust, because that guy, if he's a good contractor, he's going to know to get everything covered so that it's all addressed right then, and you don't have to play the insurance game of getting him back out there, showing him again, and just getting it all addressed at that one initial visit.
So Casey, I've heard war stories of insurances coming out and not covering claims, right? So let's say I give you a call. I say, hey, I got an insurance guy coming out at so-and-so time at this date. Casey, can you come out and advocate for me?
I actually prefer that. I actually tell people we would like to be there for that specific reason. Then we don't have to go back and forth and start chasing, hey, look at this, look at that, cover this. So the goal is to get them to cover it all the first time so that we can get it addressed, because homeowners, let's admit it, they don't want this stress. They don't want to deal with it. Everybody's dealing with their own stress, and we all got stress.
Yeah.
Why add to the plate? If you got an advocate, somebody that comes in and takes care of it for you and takes the stress off for you, That's what we're here for at Diamond Roofing and Solar. We'll come in, we're that advocate, and we're going to get everything covered, and we're going to be that guy to take care of you.
From start to finish,
And,
from talking to the insurance guy all the way to installing the roof.
and I actually get like, I don't know about excited, but I really do when an insurance shows up, and it just happened in Laurel. And the guy said, that's not from hail, and she has chunks missing of her siding.
Wow.
But she said, don't be pushy, Casey, I got it. And we got late notice because they like to do it. They like to show up when the contractor's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, and they come early. They do it all the time. So I make sure that we are there. But anyways, the adjuster said that it was not damage. So then I get excited because now I get to get them back there and really prove it.
Yeah.
So I take it kind of challenging sometimes, and I get excited.
Casey, I feel like that stems from the whole sales experience you've
Yeah.
had in the past, right?
Yeah, because it's somebody trying to tell you no and you're wrong, and you really know the laws, and you've been doing it for a long time. So I'm going to take no. There's other ways, and I've done this 100 times as well, and I know the steps in the process. So if they're telling us no and I know that it's a yes, I love fighting for the homeowners.
That's awesome. Almost sounds like you maybe picked the wrong industry. Maybe a lawyer would have been better.
I probably should have. Yeah. There could have been a lot of different options. I'm still here, guys.
So let's kind of dive into the fly-by-night salesman, right? A big storm just happens in Laurel, hail everywhere, damage all over the house. And then there's people coming in saying like, hey, we'll replace this. Just give us a down payment, and then they scoot off. How do you identify?
I'm going to give you guys a big example because I know a lot just being in the industry, all the ins, the outs. These flyby guys, they'll also come to these big roofing companies like myself. They'll want to sign a contract with me, and they'll want to do all this extra work. They don't do it with me. I've never done it, but they do come and they do this with other big businesses.
Wow.
And what happens is that leaves a big gray area because if they do that, yeah, you're making more money for the business and you're blowing this big business up, and it might look perception-wise that it's way huge because all these people are driving trucks and they're all wrapped now. But really they're subbed out and they're brought in and there's a contract and they're making all this money on the side. But the big gray area is if those salespeople and those bad people that come in, if they don't do what they say and they get their money and they're gone, now that big contractor, now he's liable for all the cleanup mess and all the promises. So at Diamond, we don't do that. We're pretty small. It's pretty much a family-operated business. I like to keep my hands in every operation. I let my salespeople, if they're dealing with the customer, but I always like to know what's going on. That way you don't have cleanup. You got things coming 100 directions, and you can't clean it up. So we're local, but we do the eastern side of Montana. We are located in Miles City. We bought the old Dairy Queen there.
Oh.
So we do from Billings, surrounding areas. We're not afraid to travel.
Yeah.
So we're, the contractors, they're not the biggest and the best out there. They're backed up. So we come in and we get things done. Like we've had homeowners just, they're wow. Like we sign them up and we're doing their roof 2 days later or the next day and they're done. So like we get everything done and we move at a pretty fast pace.
I kind of want to touch back a little bit. We talked about the fly-by-night salesman. They're getting hired on as like a contractor under these big companies, right? So they have the truck, they have the wrap, they have all the uniform. They look professional by a trusted company.
1 second, real quick, because you just reminded me of something. So, yeah, they'll come in, they change their ID, they change their plates on their truck, and now they look like they're Montana residents, and they change their phone number to a phone number in Montana.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't know what you're getting.
How do you spot that as a homeowner? Like, I'm curious.
It's pretty hard, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you know who's running around your town. You know who's operating. You know whose trucks. You know who's legit. And I guess if they are hiring somebody out as a third party, it's okay in a way because that company's still going to be local. And hopefully they're going to still honor all that, what they did in that contract.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard. But, yeah, if you get like a new company and you Google them and their address isn't from Billings and they're from somewhere else, obviously you'd want to pick somebody that's more local.
Yeah. Someone who has hands in every project, like Diamond Roofing and Solar. So from a homeowner's perspective, let's talk about the roof. Like we just get done with a hailstorm. As a homeowner, I'm looking at the very edge of the roof. I'm looking at the gutters. I don't see any damage. I'm going to call it a day and head back inside, right? Should I get my home checked after every storm, or at what point should I go and get it checked out?
You know, we're with Diamond, we're free inspections and free estimates. So if you ever, it doesn't hurt. It's not going to cost you any money. Just call us. We'll come over. We'll give you an honest opinion and an estimate and inspection. If it doesn't need it, we'll just honestly tell you that it doesn't need it. But to answer your question, if it stormed and you got granulets all over your front of your house and it's coming down the gutters and you're seeing like little gravel, that's the granulets that's coming off the shingles. That's a good indication, because what happens is these golf ball or quarter-sized things are coming at your roof and they're making impacts, and it creates a blister, a water pocket. Basically, it knocks those granulets off, and then you got kind of a, not sliver, but a mesh system that is underneath the granulets. So once the granulets are broke off, then your shingles are really compromised, and you could get water in.
Wow.
So
I had no idea that shingles were very sensitive to hail.
they're really, if you and if people, they act like they're the strongest material. I mean, really, they're just a rubberized material with granulets on top of it.
So, Casey, what's the granules on the asphalt even for?
It's actually a good question. Very good question. The UVs and the fire protection, and it adds colors to your roof and characters.
I am curious though about the weight on the roof. Like, I always hear about people shoveling off roofs because of big snowstorm, right? For my house in particular, I get water dams in my gutters, and I have to go up there and I have to clean it off, maybe like try to get rid of the water dams. But at what point is too much weight, and is that damaging to my roof?
Yeah, it really is. Because the weight, really, these 2x4s, trusses are what houses are made out of. 2x4 or 2x6s, usually are 2x4s. So you start adding weight, or people double layering their shingles, because you can really go up to 2 or 3 layers.
Really?
But I don't ever do it, but sometimes we pull that off. So if you pull, say your roof's 5,000 square feet and it's probably 6,000 pounds, and you got 2 layers on it. We did one. And you don't know. Sometimes, I mean, as a roofing contractor, you're supposed to pull the layers up and check them when you're doing the measurements. But sometimes you don't, and you just forget. So then you have to supplement them in and then take pictures and then prove it to the insurance to get paid on it. Well, take one of those roofs, and you got a dump trailer that only holds 10,000 pounds, and you got 3 layers at 6,000 pounds. What is that, 18,000 pounds? Okay, so now you have 3 layers of 18,000 pounds on your roof. Is that a lot of weight?
Yeah.
And then the snow on top of it. So your integrity of your trusses, they're gonna bow, and it's not good.
It's gonna collapse.
You only want one on there, and then you got to get into some good ventilation system too. A lot of these old houses don't have any ventilation, so Diamond Roofing and Solar will come in and cut that open. And what that is, folks, is we'll cut the top of your roof is like this. And we'll cut it open like this, so it has a big channel of ventilation versus like those little box vents you'll see on the roof, those little vents.
Yeah.
They only let out this much air.
Oh.
Now, if you open your whole roof and you're letting all that air out, you're going to have better
heat rises. Yeah.
And
So
all that creates condensation and mold and mildew up in your attic. So let's let it breathe.
give it some air, baby.
Yeah.
I'm curious about whirlybirds. They're kind of old school, I know, but that's not something you guys install, right?
No, we do it all. Skylights, whirlybirds, if you call them, wind turbine vents is what I call them.
Oh, really?
I get rid of them. I get rid of them. Sometimes they even have them powered, where you hook them up to the electricity, and then it goes into your attic, and then when it gets to a certain climate, they're supposed to kick on.
Oh.
But really, code is they're getting rid of all those vents, and the ridge ventilation is the way to go. It opens up your whole ridge, and if you can do it, if you don't have a hip roof or trusses hitting, you can do it. In my opinion, doing it is, I don't even charge. I just do it because it's the right thing to do. You can ask anybody that knows me that does my jobs, they all get ridge vented. And you'll notice they all have a little rise above it, and that's the ridge vent system.
Because it's the right way to do it.
it's the right way. And I believe in ventilation and doing things the right way.
Do it right the first time so you don't have to do it again, right?
Here's a good thing, too. We use Malarkey. I only use Malarkey. I use whatever people want me to, but usually people go with what we like. And we had 110-mile-an-hour winds. I don't even think we had one roof last year that was affected where we had to go back and replace it. There was one commercial job where we had some metal come up, and there was just a metal cap. So our shingles and the Malarkeys, they stick good.
So I'm curious, Malarkey, that's a brand?
Yeah, Malarkey's a brand of shingles that we've been using for 14 years, and we really believe in them.
Yeah. So shingles are one type of material. What about someone who wants like a metal roof? I know in Montana, metal is like really popular.
We specialize in a lot of metal. We actually just did a Joliet metal, stainless steam metal. So the difference between metal is you have a couple different profiles. So you got the tough rib profile. I call it tough rib. So it's got the little waves on it, and you'll see the screws in a uniform pattern fastening it down. So that's quicker to install. It's less expensive. And the more expensive is the standing seam. We did one. It took like 3-4 weeks. It was a 60,000 or 6,000 square foot house.
Wow.
8-12 pitch, so very steep. Standing seam, so it interlocks. It's panels, so you don't see the screws, and it's a very, very hard system to do. But we do it all. TPO commercial. So TPO is the rubberized membrane for commercials. We do that. We do all roofing we specialize in.
Casey, let me pause you right there. This is your chance to go on to the giveaway and enter your code. The code's going to pop up right here. Go on to yourhomemontana.com/giveaway and enter that code for a prize to win. So I kind of want to get like a quick rundown of the different materials you use, right? And what is the best case for each one of those? Sounds like asphalt shingles are like the main use around Billings, right?
Yeah, because I mean the insurance is paying for a likewise material that's on your house. So it's up to the homeowner to upgrade per se if they want. So usually metal is an upgrade. So around Montana area, you're going to see a lot of shingles. Usually if they're upgrading, they're getting a tough rib metal roof. But for residential, that's usually what you'll see is metal or shingles.
I see. Okay.
And the TPO is a rubberized material, and you'll see that on commercials.
That's typically with the flat roof.
Yeah, a flat roof. And I've seen people put it on trailer houses. I mean, it's a good system for different things, but it's usually meant for a specific purpose.
Oh, I see. Okay. And you'll kind of guide the homeowner through that.
Yeah, we can do it. We specialize in all roofing, so we love roofing. It's like it's our favorite.
That's awesome. Okay. Aside from roofing, let's touch on solar a little bit. Is solar actually profitable in Billings?
Right now, we've just kind of been held off on it.
Yep.
So, I mean, if people want it, we can still design it. Typically, we go off of their utility bill, and we'll design it off that, unless they want to go totally off grid. But your utility bill will at least show us what you're using, and then we'll do an average of that, and then we can design it off of that. So
I see.
And it's a little bit more of a time frame. You have to get electricians involved, permits involved. It's a little bit more of a process. So luckily, the roofing, the siding has kept the solar part of it alive.
Oh, I see. Got it. So typically a homeowner calls like when the roof is collapsing or when there's huge damage to the roof, right? What should a homeowner do to be proactive about it?
If they got things going on with their roof, they're probably going to need to call a contractor, and then you're going to have like 5 or 6 show up. Whoever you call, whoever you select, and then we all know it comes down to who do you feel comfortable with, and who did you like, and who do you think is going to do a good job. So usually you pick out a good contractor. They'll run some dry in over it, seal it up, and then get you on the schedule and get it repaired.
So Casey, aside from taking the insurance from start to finish, there's a lot of other roofers out in the business, right? What makes Diamond Roofing and Solar different from them?
What sets Diamond Roofing apart is we show up, and a lot of them can't even give a written estimate. They got to literally go back to the office, and they got to go back and give the customer it within a day or two and email it back. sets us apart is we've been doing it so long that we are so old school, and we can do the 2 day or a day and email it back, but
Yeah.
we can literally write you an estimate on the spot. So what sets us apart is we can do that. We can present it and offer it to them on the spot. And not only that, we fight for the customer with the insurance. So it sets us apart.
Awesome. Getting a quote right off the rip is probably one of the best things that you could do, because people are like left in a mystery. They don't want that, right?
No. And then being able to get them on the schedule and be able to show up tomorrow and actually get it done. I mean, we're hearing calls saying that they're 2 months out.
Wow.
We have enough experience in crews that we're typically a week, I'm going to get you done. And that's kind of what I advertise, a week, and we're going to get you done from sign up.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Casey, for anyone who has experienced some kind of roof damage or siding damage, or someone who is just curious about the condition of the roof right now, how can they get a hold of you?
Call Diamond Roofing Solar, 406-598-8107, or you can look us up on Facebook. We also post a lot of our jobs on there. We're really key on taking pictures, documenting the process the whole way. We're also on Instagram, and you can also look us on Google under Diamond Roofing and Solar.
Awesome, Casey. Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
And that's a wrap on Your Home Billings. If this helps you, feel free to share Casey's info with anyone you may know and follow us on all the major platforms. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.